Hi, Thriller Movies Recap here. Today I'm going to show you a movie titled The Roommate, so relax and enjoy. Spoilers ahead, watch out. Sarah Matthews, a new freshman at the University of Los Angeles, is settling into her dorm. Sarah settles in on her side of the bed because her roommate is still not there. She meets Tracy, a fellow freshman, and Kim, who is her roommate. The three of them then go to a frat party. Sarah engages in drinking and dancing while catching the drummer's attention. The drummer runs into her as she turns to leave the stage. He introduces himself as Steven, a student who also belongs to a fraternity. They decide to take Tracy home after witnessing a buzzed Tracy flash the party and lift her shirt. He receives her gratitude and a goodnight kiss. She trips over baggage as she approaches her room in the dark to discover that her roommate Rebecca has moved in. After sleeping off her intoxication, she awakens the following morning to meet Rebecca. Sarah was accepted to Brown University, but Jason was not. They both applied to colleges, so they made the decision to travel to ULA together. When they are back in the room, they look at each other's artwork because Sarah is majoring in fashion design and Rebecca is majoring in painting. She reserves sharing it until it is complete since it is part of my process, she says. Sarah arrives late to a fashion design lesson and waits at the door. After the lecture, Sarah approaches Professor Roberts and requests that he add her to the class because it is already full. She has flair and desire, which he cannot teach, so he changes his mind and signs her in. Tracy visits Sarah and Rebecca in their room and extends an invitation for them to join her for a night out. Rebecca says no. Sarah departs and places her phone in Tracy's evening bag. When a while, Tracy is gone when a male makes advances toward her. She is stranded without a phone or purse. She goes for a stroll and makes a collect call to Rebecca. Soon after Rebecca shows there, they order pancakes and she announces that she will be taking Sarah to explore the sights of the large city tomorrow. It is above her breast. Emily was Sarah's older sister. She passed away when Sarah was 9 years old, according to Sarah. While Rebecca sorts through her belongings and dons her necklace and perfume, Sarah leaves to go jog. Sarah tells her she can borrow everything from her, except the necklace because it is the only item she has kept from her sister until she returns. A few days later, Sarah brings a stray kitten into the hostel after finding it. They should maintain it, according to Rebecca, who also likes it. They give him the name Cuddles and share him. Steven visits the coffee shop where Sarah recently started working. She blows up a blender full of smoothie on her first day, proving that she is not particularly skilled at it. She agrees when he asks her out to supper. At home, Rebecca is all dressed up and has tickets for them to go a Richard Price Gallery exhibition. Sarah explains she already has plans, but after noticing Rebecca's dejected expression, she decides to change them and accompany Rebecca. Sarah quickly texts Steven to cancel their dinner reservation. When Sarah's phone rings when they are at the bookstore buying supplies, she recognizes it as Jason and tells Rebecca that he used to be her boyfriend but that they broke up. Jason was given the opportunity by Brown a week ago, taking it despite the fact that Sarah turned down the opportunity to accompany him. She can take it in one of the other 3 sections, he adds when she asks whether she may. In order to bring it with him, Sarah says she'd like to wait until the following year. The following day, Sarah and Rebecca visit an art gallery, and Rebecca reveals that her favorite artist is Richard Price. Sarah reassures Rebecca that it is not a big issue that she has a tattoo as they pass a tattoo parlor. The following day, Sarah receives a text message from an older acquaintance named Irene, a graduate with a degree in fashion who is also from her hometown. She works as a stylist and travels extensively. She is going to meet Sarah, and she lives in Los Angeles. While Steven is in the library studying, Sarah stops by and extends an invitation to dinner. The lights go out when Tracy uses the hostel showers that evening. She looks around the room but discovers nothing or no one. She goes to the shower after the lights come back on, but she is suddenly attacked and suffocated by someone holding the shower curtain over her while muttering, "You're a bad influence on her, you trashy party whore." She then threatens to kill Tracy if she tells anybody about this and pulls at her belly ring before throwing it at her. Tracy is on the shower floor crying. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, Sarah isn't home, and Rebecca is panicking in her dorm room. Sarah can finally be heard in the hallway after she makes many calls to her cell phone. Rebecca yells at her while Sarah and Stephen are kissing, demanding to know where she's been and why she was frightened. This is unusual, Sarah and Stephen thought as they exchanged looks. She doesn't need to call or worry again, according to Sarah. Sarah approaches Tracy as she is making her way to class and asks her why she left the dorm complex. Tracy explains to her that she changed dorms because the atmosphere was better. Tracy looks terrified and breaks off mid-sentence when Rebecca joins them. Rebecca simply states that Tracy was erratic. A few days after their date, Sarah and Stephen are in a park admiring a vista of Los Angeles. He is questioned as to whether they will be staying at her twin-bed apartment with a roommate or at his. They enter his room and have a sexual encounter. Sarah isn't at home, so Rebecca has returned to the dorm and is once more in a panic. This time, she doesn't call her. When Sarah's phone rings, the one she had left behind, she answers it. According to the ID, it's Jason. When Rebecca answers, Jason speaks as she mumbles. She asks whether he misses touching her as she whispers to him that she misses being able to touch him. She masturbates as he speaks, telling him, "Don't ever call me again," and hangs up. Sarah approaches Irene's and asks her if she wants cuddles since the RA caught them with the cat. She declines, citing her excessive travel and lack of free time to care for a cat. Irene sends Sarah a ton of pricey second-hand clothing and suggests that Sarah move in with her because the apartment is huge, she travels a lot, and she could then keep the cat. Rebecca flips out when Sarah mentions the plan to her when she gets back to the dorm. Sarah encourages her to calm down and to give it some thought. If she decides to move, they may keep the cat. When Sarah leaves the room, Rebecca goes to the laundry room with the cat, loads it in the dryer with pennies, and turns it on. Rebecca then strikes her face pretty forcefully, resulting in bruises. Along with cutting her stomach with Sarah's art blade, she also bruises her arms and legs. In the meantime, Rebecca waits for Sarah to come back. When Sarah notices the blood, Rebecca explains to her that she was attacked by a thug in a deserted alley after the cat escaped. She is advised by Sarah to contact the police, but she refuses. Sarah tends to her wound after cleaning her up. Sarah feels compelled to vow Rebecca she will never leave her alone again. A few weeks later, Sarah is invited to stay after class by Professor Roberts. The money allows him to bring an assistant to Fashion Week in Paris, and he asks her if she would like to travel with him. He leans in and kisses her before she has a chance to respond. Disgusted, she pushes him aside and walks away. Given that he is married, she informs Rebecca about it and how terrible it was. Rebecca pretends to be interested in enrolling in his class when she pays him a visit that evening at his workplace. When he asks her to kiss him, she says she'll do anything, but then she screams and yells, "No! Stop! You're hurting me, oh no!" She exits after demonstrating to him that she has taped the entire talk on a little recorder. Professor Roberts is taking a leave of absence, so Sarah's class in the morning will be taught by a substitute. She informs Rebecca that there has been a rumor that he inappropriately touched a student, much like he did with Sarah, and that he won't be returning. A few weeks later, Sarah attends Thanksgiving with Rebecca at her family's Beverly Hills house. She obviously comes from a wealthy family because it is enormous. Given that she didn't phone to let them know she was coming, Rebecca's parents Jeff and Allison are astonished that she is here. The following day, Rebecca will take Sarah on a tour of the city. When Rebecca isn't present, Sarah receives a call from her mother, who checks on her medication intake. The two girls take in the sights while having coffee at Rebecca's favorite spot. As they enter, a group of girls sneer at Rebecca. There are, according to her, women she knew from high school. As a result of Rebecca's discomfort, they depart. One of the girls says to Rebecca as they leave, "You were never my friend." Irene is back in town, and Sarah receives a text asking if they want to meet after they return to the dorm. Rebecca informs her that she is heading to the studio to sketch because she is feeling inspired. Sarah digs through Rebecca's belongings after she departs and discovers a prescription. It relates to drugs used to treat psychotic conditions like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. The fact that the medication is unopened suggests that Rebecca has never taken it. Steven and Sarah believe that Sarah should relocate in Irene's place. As she informed Sarah, Rebecca does not visit the studio in the interim. She enters a nightclub where Irene is mingling with other random ladies and dancing and drinking. They decide to return to Irene's flat after Rebecca makes advances on Irene in the lavatory. Rebecca returns to the dorm in the morning. Sarah begins to tell Rebecca that she is moving out, but before Sarah can finish, Rebecca implores her to accompany her to get inked. She waits while traveling with Rebecca. Sarah requests to see the tattoo after she is finished. It is a copy of Sarah's and reads Emily above her breast. "Now that you can think of me as your sister," Rebecca says. Sarah leaves after becoming ill. She gathers her belongings and hails a cab to Steven's fraternity home. She has contacted Irene, but all she gets is her answering machine, so she figures she is still away. When Jason visits the area, he calls Sarah's phone and leaves a message, but she never picks it up. He enters her hostel and leaves a letter under the door asking her to come to his hotel room and meet him. While Rebecca is taking a shower, dark hair color is dripping down her back. She is dyeing her hair to resemble Sarah. Rebecca visits Jason's hotel and steals a key from a housekeeper. She gets into bed behind Jason after taking off her clothes. He is sleepy and is beginning to awaken. She straddles him while giving him a kiss. When he first awakens, he immediately recognizes Sarah because of the necklace, tattoo, and perfume. "She doesn't love you," Rebecca yells as she stabs him with Sarah's artistic blade. At 10 p.m., Sarah was scheduled to meet Steven at the fraternity house, but she doesn't show up. He checks his phone and finds a message from Sarah asking him to meet her where she is going since Irene is back and needs her. The entrance door is wide open when Sarah gets to Irene's flat. She carefully enters, looking for Irene, feeling alarmed. Irene cries as Sarah enters the bedroom. She is restrained and muzzled and is bound to the bed. Sarah is told to sit down by Rebecca, who is standing there holding a gun to her head. She claims that she got rid of Tracy, the cat, and Professor Roberts since all she ever wanted was to be her friend. Sarah tries to reassure Rebecca by telling her they are friends and pleading with her to accept her apology. Steven entered right then and attempted to take the gun. Steven is knocked out during a large fight that breaks out. While fighting and knocking over furniture, Sarah and Rebecca let the gun slide out of the room. Sarah keeps Rebecca out of the bedroom while she goes to retrieve the gun. Rebecca grabs the gun and starts firing at the door as she tries to free Irene. They are pretty far up, there is no fire escape, and Irene orders her to exit through the window. Sarah is standing by the window when Rebecca bursts through the glass, causing Sarah to tumble out and grab to the curtain. Rebecca is knocked out when Steven hits her from behind. As Sarah prepares to crawl into the window while he is pulling her back up, Rebecca strikes Steven hard, knocking him out cold. Sarah punches Rebecca after being drawn in by Rebecca. Sarah gets the weapon as they battle once again. She holds it with Rebecca in mind, but Rebecca doesn't believe she will fire. But the gun is empty when she does. While screaming, Rebecca lunges towards Sarah. Sarah's art blade gets spilled when they struggle, which causes the purse to topple over. Sarah tries to grip the blade as Rebecca smothers her. "I was never your friend," she says as she stabs Rebecca in the back. After returning her necklace to Rebecca, who has just passed away, she rushes to Steven, who has just regained consciousness. In the background, sirens can be heard. Steven joins Sarah in her new room as she moves into a new dorm. They slide the second bed out into the hallway and leave it there after she asks him to assist her with one task. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.